everyone, today's video is going to be on skincare. Skincare is something that I'm hugely interested in. I get more excited about skincare than I do about makeup. I love testing out new products, but at the same time I'm all about finding out what is actually in the products and whether or not they're actually going to be effective, because I feel like the whole skincare industry is crazy and it's saturated with all these promises that are not always delivered. So I'm really into reading about the ingredients in skincare. A lot of questions that I get asked quite frequently are, what are my opinions on parabens? How do I feel about natural or like organic and pure natural skincare as opposed to skincare with chemicals in, anti-aging skincare, all that kind of jazz. So I'm going to try and give you my opinions, and where I don't know the answer to things I will direct you to people that definitely have a lot more idea than I do. And then I'll show you kind of my skincare routine. I just want to point out at the beginning of this video that I don't use all of these products on a daily basis. I've got, for example, like about 5 different cleansers to show you. I'm not trying to say that you need to rush out and buy all these things, because you really don't. Bear in mind that I do get sent things to review, and I do reviews here on YouTube, so that is why I do have a lot of skincare. Okay, so starting off with a few questions. The number one question that I get asked is, what is your skin type? My skin type changes depending on what circumstances I'm in. Things like stress, nutrition, temperature, if I'm outside in the sun or if I'm inside with air conditioning, hormones, they all kind of play into what my skin feels like at any given time. But my skin is affected by whatever's going on in my lifestyle, and I think that's true to an extent for most people. On the whole, my skin is usually slightly dehydrated. I do suffer from hormonal outbreaks, but I wouldn't say I have acne. I've never had acne. I used to work for Clarins, and I kind of liked working for them because when we sat people down, we'd ask them, how is your skin feeling at the moment, rather than, you know, what's your skin type, because 99% of people will say that their skin is sensitive. It's interesting to find out what kind of work people do and what kind of environment they're in, and whether they're under a lot of stress, and that can usually manifest itself in their skin. Second question I get asked a lot is, what is my stance on parabens? Because I have used quite a lot of paraben-free products, and I've used quite a lot of products with parabens in as well. And the answer to that is, I am not 100% sure, and I don't think anyone is 100% sure. That's the whole thing. I've done a lot of reading about parabens. Probably the most useful website I can recommend to you is Colin's Beauty Pages, and Colin is a cosmetic scientist. Not only does he know his stuff, but he's good at putting things in layman's terms. I enjoyed science when I was at school, and I did kind of up to A-level equivalent in chemistry and things like that, and I'm interested in science, but I'm very turned off by figures, long chemical names. It just turns me off, and I find it very difficult to sit through and absorb the information. So when all these studies are published, I find it difficult to sit down and read them, and I think that's true for the majority of people. And the good thing about Colin is that he really just, without patronising, he puts it in conversational tone. He's got podcasts. I find him very, very easy to listen to. I've learned a lot from his blog, and I've also learned a lot from Skincare for Men, which I've mentioned numerous times. Whenever I do a skincare video, I always seem to talk about Skincare for Men. So I will link both of those in the information bar. Very, very useful websites if you want to kind of find out what is in your beauty product and what the active ingredients are and what they're actually going to do. The whole skincare industry is kind of a minefield, and it's difficult for women, I personally think, to get the right kind of answers and the right kind of help without going to a dermatologist. You kind of let loose on all these counters with all these kind of promises, and let's face it, anti-aging creams don't work. Otherwise nobody would have wrinkles, nobody would have any kind of problems with their skin. We buy things without even really knowing what is in them. A lot of people ask me what I think about natural skincare, and I think there's this massive misconception that if you use something that's natural, it's not going to irritate your skin. People with sensitive skin are really big on using things with 100% natural ingredients or organic ingredients. Whilst I do think that sometimes putting a lot of chemicals on your face, if they're not the right ones, can kind of, you know, make some things worse, I think that a natural product can be just as irritating. If you have a reaction to things, you can have a reaction to a natural thing. I think a lot of companies have jumped on the bandwagon. They've started to create packaging that's, you know, either a really pale like beigey brown or green, and they kind of make it look with flowers on, they make it look really like herbal and natural. And yeah, herbal and natural skincare can be amazing, but I think that people just, when they have a sensitivity, they tend to completely disregard anything that's got any chemical base that was made in a lab. And it's not always the right thing. So based on my actual skin and its needs, I just use a gentle cleanser to get rid of my makeup. Now I've got a few cleansers here that I can talk you through. The first one is Bioderma. This is their cleansing solution. This is in the sensitive and dry skin range, but they do have one for oily skin or combination skin, and Bioderma is a French brand. I like a lot of those French pharmacy brands. I feel like, you know, you can get some really great skincare in French pharmacies, and when I was living in France I was obsessed with pharmacies. This is great at removing heavy makeup but without irritating your eyes. It's actually what a lot of makeup artists use when they're on set and they're constantly adding and removing makeup. This is a really great tool so that the models don't get irritation around the eye area. You can use this all over your face as a cleanser, but I just tend to use this when I've got, say, false lashes or a lot of eye makeup on. I'll just use it then. Personally for me, I really like to use a balm kind of creamy cleanser, and I like cleansers that you can use on your eyes and all over your face to take off your makeup. First one you've heard me talk about before, and you've heard a lot of people talk about this, and it is Cetaphil. Cetaphil is popular with dermatologists. It is just a gentle cleanser. All it does is cleanse your skin, and I think really that's all that I need, is just something to cleanse my skin and not irritate it. I use all of these cleansers on a wet face with a muslin cloth. I kind of buy these frequently, but I just kind of put them on a boil wash, use them like 2 or 3 times and then put them on a boil wash and get them nice and clean again. I'll just wet my face, put the cleanser on my face and kind of rub it in all over, get the eye makeup, and then I'll take a muslin cloth and wet this with hot water and just kind of massage it in and exfoliate my skin and get the cleanser off. And I usually cleanse my face twice, and then sometimes I'll put the muslin cloth under a cold tap and just kind of wakes me up a little bit. Cetaphil does have parabens in. If you are someone that's cautious about parabens and you're wanting to stay paraben free, then the Cetaphil might not be for you. But I have found a pretty damn similar product actually, and this is paraben free, and this is by Avene, again another one of the kind of French skincare brands. This is pretty much the same consistency. It's got different ingredients, but in terms of how you use it, it is the same consistency as Cetaphil. I use it in exactly the same way. It does say to use this dry and to tissue it off, but I use it with a muslin cloth and it works great. I like the Bioderma Hydrating Mousse Cleanser. This one kind of comes out like whipped cream. It's got like this pressurised can. It comes out like whipped cream, and it's just a foaming cleanser. Gentle, really makes your skin feel nice. One that I've been trying recently is by MONU, and this is their cleansing balm with evening primrose, blackcurrant and rosehip. It's one of those balmy cleansers that's similar to the Eve Lom. I have a review of the Eve Lom up on my channel. I think it's crazy overpriced for what it is. You get quite a lot in this MONU cleanser, and it is really nice. Gets everything off your face, feels really soft. The Sanctuary do a really nice one, which is their polishing hot cloth cleanser. They're all kind of similar, these ones, and I use them in exactly the same way, so it just depends how my skin feels that day. Something that I'm testing out at the moment, so I can't tell you my final thoughts because I'm testing it out, is this acne line from Murad. I actually met Jeff Murad last week at an event. It's his father, Howard, that started this line. This has got 0.5% salicylic acid, so it claims to reduce breakouts. It's also got amino acids and hyaluronic acid to kind of keep your skin moisturised. So this is kind of presented as an acne cleanser for ageing skin. I think a lot of acne products are a little bit harsh, especially if you're getting a little bit older. I don't suffer from acne, but like I said, I've got a spot at the moment. I just tend to get like 1 or 2, and then when it's hormone time, then I will get a few more. So I can properly comment on this when I've got that breakout going on. But this really does wake your skin up, and for those of you that like something that feels a little bit more medicated, if you do suffer from acne, then this might be something to try, because it is, with it being the aging one, it is a little bit more gentle and it doesn't kind of strip your skin of its moisture, so that's quite nice. Speaking of Murad as well, and like I said at the beginning about nutrition, I'm currently reading Howard Murad's book, which is The Water Secret. When I was talking to Jeff Murad, it made me really happy, because a lot of the time what you tend to see from skincare brands is put this on your face and you'll instantly look amazing. I really like the approach that, especially for someone running a skincare company, they will turn around and say, yes, these products are great and they will help your skin, but they can only do so much, and the rest of it has got to come through diet and, you know, lifestyle changes as well. After I've applied my cleanser, I'll apply a vitamin C treatment. The one that I'm using at the moment is Active C, and that is by La Roche Posay. Again, another one of this French skincare brand. This can just help your SPF to work a little bit better, and vitamin C tends to stay on your skin for 24 hours, so you only need to apply this in the morning. My favourite SPF is the Bioderma Photodome, and this is SPF 50. It's broad spectrum. It's water resistant. I don't find it makes my skin too oily. I think a lot of the French skin companies do have really good SPFs with great formulations, but it's a case of trying out what works for you. Another one that I'm using at the minute is by Skin. Now Skin have clinics throughout the UK. This one does kind of give me that white look for about 15 minutes, but then it soaks into my skin and it's a bit thicker, but that's only SPF 30. And then I also sometimes use the Clinique City Block Sheer, which is SPF 25. Depending on what ingredients they've used to preserve them, then they'll have different expiry dates, but I would say try and use an SPF within 6 months ideally. This one says 9, this one says 12, and this one says 24, so it can be a little bit difficult to kind of gauge. I would say try and use your SPF up within 6 months, and then you know that those ingredients are still going to be protecting your skin. If you're digging out an SPF that's been at the back of your cupboard for 2 years, opened, it's not going to be protecting your skin anymore. I also really like Neutrogena SPFs, and there's a good L'Oreal one as well, but the Neutrogena one isn't available in the UK, so I have to get that on eBay or from American websites. But like I said, I'll link you to the Skincare for Men website, and he recommends some really good SPFs as well, so you can kind of figure out what you like. In the daytime, my SPF is my daytime moisturiser, and then I'll go ahead and put makeup on after that. I'll link a blog post from Skincare for Men as well underneath, and you should go read that, because sometimes depending on the active ingredient in your SPF, if you put a certain ingredient in your foundation over the top of it, it cancels out the sun protection factor. So I'll link that because that's important to know as well. When it comes to night time, I just cleanse my face exactly the same way as I did in the morning. And at night time I'll tend to use a heavier moisturiser, just because I really like going to bed with like a thick layer of moisturiser on my face and waking up and my skin being really soft. And at night I tend to use the Egyptian Magic all-purpose skin cream. This says that it's like, you know, you're going to look younger and all that kind of stuff. I just see it as a really moisturising treatment. This is what it looks like. I got mine from HQ Hair, which I don't think they're trading anymore. You can get this on eBay. Again, I've got a review of it up on my channel, and it kind of turns to an oil when you rub it between your palms, so it is very moisturising. Definitely wouldn't recommend this in the day, but it's kind of an all-purpose cream, like the 8-hour cream. Speaking of the 8-hour cream, I will very often sleep with this on my face to keep it hydrated. I've got it in this little pot, and I've spoken about it several times. I carry this around with me in my handbag. It's great for lips, great for cuticles, good for any like kind of burns or any irritations on your skin, and you can put it all over your face. Also comes in a tube format as well. Really like this. If I'm going out in the evening and I've washed my face and I want to apply makeup, obviously I don't wear an SPF in the evening, because not only is it unnecessary, but when you use flash photography you can see you get kind of a white face going on. So I will apply just a nice moisturiser. I love the Body Shop Vitamin E Intense Moisture Cream for very dry skin. This is really nice to go under makeup. And I also really like the Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturising Lotion. They just moisturise my skin nicely, and if I'm putting makeup on going out for a meal at night or going on a night out and I don't want an SPF, then I'll use these. In terms of troubleshooting particular problems, this muslin cloth exfoliates my skin gently, kind of on an everyday basis, so I don't tend to use a separate exfoliator that often, but if I do, I really like the Clarins Gentle Facial Peeling. Like I said, I did used to work for them, so this is kind of the staff bottle. It will come in a smaller one if you purchase it. This one's good for sensitive skin if you don't want something with massive grains that are going to irritate any kind of skin problems that you've got, or if you do have very dry skin. This is good because sometimes you can feel like it's very abrasive if you're exfoliating. You just kind of put this on like you would a face mask. You put a really thin layer all over your face, wait for it to dry, and then you just kind of rub it off, and you'll see it'll kind of remove the exfoliator but also remove kind of like the top layer of dead skin cells. So it's really nice and quite gentle as well, and it's kind of gross to see all the stuff come off your skin, but quite nice at the same time. If I have any sort of reaction, any kind of sunburn, if I've not put enough SPF on, that doesn't happen very often because I'm really diligent with it, but if I have any kind of irritation with my skin, then aloe vera gel I always feel like just helps me. This one's from Skin as well, from the Skin Clinic, and yeah, I just use that if I get any redness. And if I do get a breakout and I want to kind of help it along, then the Kiehl's drawing paste I tend to use, and it does seem to get rid of it. I'm not sure if it just takes down the redness, and it might be a complete placebo effect, but I do feel like this helps. So one thing that I'm about to start testing is a retinol treatment, and retinols or retinoids have been shown to reverse some of the signs of ageing. You can get them prescribed if you go to a dermatologist. One that I have here is 4.0% concentration, which is a lot higher than you get on the high street. I haven't used it yet because I just want to read a little bit more about it, but that's the product that I have. This is just a sample. Retinol treatments are something that I really want to invest in within the next kind of 6 months, I think, to add to my skincare routine. So those are my kind of skincare recommended products. I hope that was helpful in some way. Thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye.